Welcome to Merrick's Dabbling Path.
Hey guys, for this one, I'm going to be reading out Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Jordan Peterson laid out 12 rules for life in his famous book, 12 Rules for Life and Antidote to Chaos. He is a Canadian psychology professor and a clinical psychologist. Here are the rules. Rule 1. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. Rule 2. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. 3. Befriend people who want the best for you. 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else today. 5. Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. 6. Set your house in order before you criticize the world. 7. Pursue what's meaningful, not what's expedient. 8. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. 9. Assume the person you are listening to knows something that you don't. 10. Be precise in your speech. 11. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding. 12. Pet a cat when you encounter one in the street. Coming back to the rules. Rule 1. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. Peterson gets this rule from looking at the evolutionary behaviors of lobsters. Lobsters fight each other to see who's dominant. The lobster that wins the fight stretches out his body as there's a boost of serotonin after winning a fight, whereas the lobster that loses curls itself up to look smaller. Through scientific studies, it's also proving that standing up straight with your shoulders back is a way to embrace the difficulties of the world. It will also help us face the problems that we have with confidence and courage. Rule 2. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. This is a plain yet simple rule. If we are not able to take care of ourselves first, how are we going to be able to help others? We need to look at ourselves as someone we are able to help and someone we are responsible for taking care of. As per Jordan, people are more likely to give prescription medication to their pets than take it themselves. That comes from a nature where it's much easier for us to take care of others than take care of ourselves. Armed with this realization, we need to try to take care of our physical, mental, and emotional health. Rule 3. Befriend people who want the best for you. We need to surround ourselves with people who want the best for us. They want to see us succeed and want us to be the best versions of ourselves. Great friends push one another to great heights. Call each other and each other's bullshit, and don't let you mistreat yourself. Avoid at all costs people who drag you down to their level to feel good about themselves. Such toxic people have no place in your life. Finally, avoid people who won't take responsibility for their own actions. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else today. Another quote is, comparison is the death of joy. If you look at others to justify your value, you will never feel fulfilled. Those wells run dry pretty damn quick. Just look to be a better version of yourself than the previous day, and that's an attainable goal. We all tend to do it at some point in our lives where we compare ourselves to someone else. But do we really know what that someone else is really has to? How their life looks like? One of my favorite quotes is, "The grass is greener on the other side." But is it really? Instead of looking at others and comparing yourself to them, focus on yourself. You can define your goals and try achieving them, and try improving yourself one day at a time. And when done correctly, you'll stop looking at everybody else's garden because you'll be too busy working on your own. Rule 5. Do not let children do anything that makes you dislike them. In other words, aim to make your children productive members of society. The way kids learn is through testing the boundaries of the world. They push in every direction possible just to see how far they can go. While the job of a parent, on the other hand, is to teach the children of what is acceptable and what isn't. They serve as a proxy for the society that is to come later in the kid's life. Rule 6. Set your house in order before you criticize the world. Before blaming someone or something else for your own problems, you need to pause, take a step back, and reflect if you truly done everything in your power to solve the problem. Have you taken advantage of every opportunity, or are you pointing fingers because it's much easier than the solution? This rule calls for deep examination of yourself in order to stop behaviors that you know are wrong or destructive self-talk that is making you feel miserable. Say only things that make you strong and do only things that speak with honor. Rule 7. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. This one goes deep, very deep in meaning of life really. The rules calls for discovering your own meaning by doing good, preventing evil of all kind from happening, and living life dedicating to long-term good over short-term impulsive behaviors. We all have short-term impulsive behaviors like a dopamine addict. To be expedient, to set ourselves away from immediate gratification, work solely for a short period of time. But achieving those long-term goals is what is ultimately give your life more meaning and more happiness. Think deep, discover your true self and your true happiness, and work towards achieving it. Rule 8. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. You may be lying to others, but most importantly, you may be lying to yourself. For example, you may be working in a job and you'll be like, yes, this is the most amazing job. Or in a relationship and saying this relationship definitely works. Or you may be lying about how healthy you're eating and how healthy your habits are. But deep down, you know, you're quite aware of the inconsistencies with your true beliefs. As a result, you constantly feel unsettled, restless, and out of balance. Develop your personal truth instead of acting in accordance with others. It's not easy, but it ultimately reduces anxiety, increases happiness, and makes you feel a lot better about yourself. Rule 9. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. People often talk as it helps them to think. This is exactly what I'm doing actually. In order to process their thoughts and even feelings and emotions, people need to verbalize them first. So when you listen to someone, especially in a serious conversation, think of your job as helping the other person think. Sometimes you might not say anything. Other times you might need to help them reach their own conclusion, and sometimes you need to be their voice of common sense and disagree with the person. Whatever the case, your job is to listen, that is, genuinely listen. Distill take the core message out of the conversation, and you might help the other person understand their own thoughts even better. Rule 10. Be precise in your speech. Stress and anxious feelings typically come from the unknown. It makes you feel not in control, and you don't really know what the exact problem is, and the scarier it becomes. But however, if you name the problem and you're very specific about it, the faster you are able to figure it out and get a solution to it. So be specific. Be specific. What is bothering you? Why is it bothering you? And what can you do about it? Rule 11. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding. This rule has nothing to do with skateboarding. Jordan Peterson basically argues that the relatively modern concept of gender equality is incorrect, in the sense that there's no need for complete equality in every behavior at all times in all situations. Men and women are not the same. They are quite different biologically. They have different qualities, different instincts, and we should not deny this difference. Creating policies that force people against their nature might have unintended and serious consequences down the road. Peterson argues that it's incorrect to try to make girls tougher or boys more sensitive, especially if that goes against their own tendencies. In other words, let boys be boys and girls be girls. Peterson also said the rule basically comes from the idea that when kids are skateboarding, they try to face danger and overcome it. So yeah, do not bother children when they're skateboarding. And the last one, rule 12. Pet a cat when you encounter one in the street. This also is similar to stop and smell the roses. Enjoy the small things in life. Life is tough, life is hard. Bad things happen to good people all the time, and there is suffering all around us. You could get lost in the sea of negativity the world offers, or accept this situation for what it is, an objective reality that is completely beyond your control. And of course, the second alternative is clearly a more productive way of living. So accept life for what it is and make sure you enjoy the little pleasures it offers you every day. A kid playing in a puddle of water, the smell of freshly baked goods, a good view, and of course, petting a random cat on the street if you encounter one.